Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me this morning. I have a wonderful guest today, and her name is Kirin Christianson of Integrative Health. You can learn more about her at drchristianson.com. And right now we're going to talk about all things Cut the Clutter. Hi Kirin, how are you?
Hi Kammie, how are you?
Wonderful. It is so rainy, disgusting here in Seattle. I just will apologize in advance.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think it's like 70 something or maybe 80s here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm not rubbing it in, am I?
I miss it so much over there. I miss my morning hikes at North Mountain. I just loved it over there. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So you were at the very top of my list. I met you about a decade ago. I was probably the youngest person at the Allie Brown event at the time, and I was so nervous. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew is that I wanted more. I wanted more of an experience about this whole entrepreneurship world. And you were the kindest soul in the room who took me under their wing. And you said, you know what, baby girl, come on. We're going to go over here. We're going to do this. And so thank you for making the time today.
Of course, anything. And honestly, I've actually just stepped away from modeling. I've stepped away from acting. I've stepped away from interviews. I've stepped away from everything that involves just kind of being in front of the camera because I'm really focusing more on behind the scenes action right now, especially with my husband's blog on drchristianson.com and doing a lot of the recipes and whatnot. So to be honest, it's only because it is you that I am accepting this opportunity. So thank you for inviting me, but I want you to know it's because of you, because I really think that you're someone to admire. You're a go-getter, and I think you just proved the point that when you cut the clutter, and it doesn't necessarily have to be limited to the clutter that's like your home in your home, but even when you do cut the clutter there, it cuts the clutter in all areas of your life. So I admire you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I want to roll into that exactly. So you are all over the place. You are in the pageant world. You're in the health and wellness industry, fashion. I mean, you're all over the place. How do you keep it all together? What are some of your true tips and tricks that you apply daily to keep it all together?
So the easiest thing is the little calendar that's on my phone helps tremendously. And so every morning I'll wake up, I'll just kind of go over my calendar, look at what I have planned for the day. And then I just kind of plan my day around that too, because sometimes if I have something scheduled first thing in the morning, I might take my shower in the afternoon. And then I also have my son who, we only have one child living at home now. At one point we had 3, but now we have 1, and he's the last one here. But even then, we still have to coordinate pickup times, drop-off times, making lunch, all of that. So I just kind of have a daily routine, which I think is really important to have a set routine that you always do. And then look at your schedule for the day, kind of plan out everything. Another thing I'll do with that is I'll set my alarms. So when I know I have an event or something to come up, I'll set an alarm usually for 5 minutes before the start of the event, or I'll set an alarm for when I need to leave the house in order to get to that event on time. So I don't know what I would do without my phone, but it really is a lifesaver. So as long as my son doesn't sign me out of my accounts, I'm great, and I know exactly what's going on.
That's the issue too. It's like the kids are in control of all the technology, and we're just all trying to keep up still. It seems like every day Facebook and all these platforms are rolling out with something new, and I love that you said the calendar is so important that you shouldn't be afraid of it, to use it to your advantage.
Definitely. And the good thing is, when you have it, you can have it digitally, but I'm a checklist girl. So I don't write my to-do list on the calendar. My calendar is strictly for appointments. My to-do list, I actually have to write it out. And the best way to do this is to do it the night before. This is actually my husband's technique, because oftentimes, especially women, we have a hard time going to sleep and getting good quality sleep. So he suggests doing like what he calls a brain dump the night before. And so turn off all electronics an hour before bedtime, start writing down everything that you know you need to get done. right? Because it's always at nighttime when you go, oh, I forgot I have to do this, or, oh, I want to make sure I remember to do that. So he suggests doing that at nighttime after you've turned everything off and you're kind of in bed and relaxing. And then that way, as those things come up, you've got your notepad right there, you have your pen, you're ready to just kind of take care of everything. So when you do wake up in the morning, you wake up refreshed because you know you haven't forgotten anything. And then you just start checking things off, or at least I do. I start checking things off of my checklist.
I love that. That's such a great, those are two things that I actually have chapters dedicated to in the book, is what we call the mind dump and checklist, because if you utilize them properly, it keeps your thoughts organized in a way that you can delete, delegate, or tackle things on the list. And so one thing that I would really love to dive into is part of your routine that you were bringing up. So what do you think your morning routine is the most essential part of the day, or what routine do you stick to that really sets the stage for every day?
So both morning and then night, simply because during the day, my schedule changes so dramatically, and I never have like a set routine during the day. So I always start off my day by, I am typically one of the first people awake. I like to just spend that time. Believe it or not, that's when I catch up on Facebook. So if you ever see me at like 4 a.m., 4:30, 5:30 a.m., just messaging people back, it's really easy for me to kind of get caught up. Okay, I'll see what's going on with, we have a lot of challenge groups or things like that for the Adrenal Reset Challenge and for the Thyroid Reset Program and Healing Hashimoto's. So I'll go through there, just make sure everything's being taken care of, everybody knows what's going on. And then just checking up on my friends, like, ooh, what happened in the last day or two? And then, and I know that sounds crazy because you're really not supposed to start your day, according to the experts, you're not supposed to start your day with electronics. But for me, then I can move past it. Then I don't go, and then I also, with my phone being the tool, I get 0 notifications when emails come in. No notifications when I get nothing. So when messages come in, I don't hear them. When my phone rings, I don't hear that. It's very, very seldom that I even have my phone with me or near me or on, and especially with notifications for Facebook or Instagram or any of those things, because I've already taken care of it. So now I'm not constantly looking at my phone to see what's happening or if anybody's messaged me.
That's a really beautiful statement, because I think a lot of us, when we're out to dinner or anywhere, our phone is on our body at all times. And it's so distracting because you're not spending that quality one-on-one time either in the task that you're doing or with the individual that you're with. And, I met Oprah, I think it was 2 years ago now. And the one thing people always ask me is, what was she like? And I said, she's exactly what you would think in terms of, well, everything, because she's my queen and I have to say that. But she gave everyone their moment, of hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm sure she's exhausted. She was on stage at events here and there. She gave everyone their moment. And so really, truly, if you plan out your time and your schedule, you're able to give everyone and everything their moment and their time. And I would assume that you don't feel as rushed going from place to place and as hectic because you're more so in the moment.
True. And then too, I think when you just take those moments to fill your cup as well, like every morning I'll start my daily, I'll do a shake. And when I brush my teeth, I do squats, or then my butt was starting to get too big. So then I switched to plies. But then this way it's like I'm utilizing my time, effectively. I'm multitasking, because as women, we have to multitask. I think it's just ingrained in our nature. And we're almost, have you ever seen that? I think it's like a meme or something when you're like, this is the way men think, and then this is the way women think. And we're like multiple browsers, 100 browsers being open on our computer all at once. And we're always kind of going, oh yeah. And it's true. I think on my computer right now, I only have 5 browsers, which is like amazing. That's the least amount of browsers I've ever had open. Actually, that's that computer. This one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 12. So, just to give you that idea. So yeah, you really want to kind of, the more you can streamline things, the more you can multitask in a way that serves you and fills your cup, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you can compound tasks, something that I talk to clients about too is having errands in a way that going to and from the car that you can compound your tasks. So if you're running errands, dry cleaning, running kids around, kind of have your trunk organized in a way that things are grab and go. If you have returns or alterations, we have all these things that we're taking care of throughout the day. And so if you can structure it in a way that it's more grab and go, you're actually compounding things all at the same time, or setting up challenges. So for me, I hate doing the dishes. There's just nothing worse than that. And so if I set a challenge to like a timer on my phone or certain music, whatever those triggers are that allow me to get through the tasks that I need to do so that I can do the next thing. So I will compound and challenge at the same time.
I love that idea. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, if there's something you don't like to do, then do it. Like, I hate working out. So that must be why I like to set, and then my toothbrush will go off automatically after the set time. So I'm like, woo, I just got 3 minutes of squats in.
I love that. It's such a great idea. And so I have to ask you about your health and wellness routine, because that's something that we spend a dedicated time on in the book as well. Anything from organizing your grocery list to meal planning. This is something that you have really shown your expertise on with your husband in the Adrenal Reset Diet, which I read cover to cover. I'm so excited about starting this journey because I think it's so important and valuable and honestly easy if you just put it together. So what advice would you give to people looking to start this journey in an organized way?
And it doesn't matter if your health journey is to reset your adrenals or your thyroid, even if it's just for you to feel better and healthier. I'm a simple girl. Like, I'm fluffy, but I'm simple. So I like everything that's streamlined, easy, and fast, and still delicious. So for me, if you're eating food that tastes terrible, you're doing it wrong. So for instance, like, people will say, oh, for lunch, you have to have a salad. Okay, well, who's to say you can't put some sun-dried tomatoes on your salad and put some, add a whole bunch of vegetables that are a variety of colors? Or better yet, take that same piece of lettuce and then now put your meat from your salad, put that inside the lettuce, and then turn it into a wrap. So you have a little handheld taco. I love tacos. Living in Arizona, we have some of the best tacos here. So, I'm always all about tacos. And so, for instance, like, if we have people over for dinner, one of my secrets is we'll have a taco bar. This is also great too when you have kids or you have picky eaters at home. So I'll set up all of the ingredients. They're all on the counter, like buffet style. Everybody grabs a plate and then they can make it. Maybe they want it more of a rice bowl taco. Maybe they want it more of a salad, a taco salad. Maybe they want it more like the actual crunchy hard shells. And then this way, everybody gets to pick and choose their own ingredients, but you are only having to make one meal. It's a lot easier. It's so much easier.
And so talk to me a little bit about that process, because I love the idea, but just the shopping for the ingredients gives me anxiety. So what, do you actually go to the grocery store and have a list of items and meal plan? Like, how do you organize all this? Because I would just like to push one button on Amazon or something and just really come. So how do you organize your meals or meal planning?
So I do it a little unconventionally. Rather than having set ideas of meals that I want to consume, I will either look at the flyer, and that's if I have time. If I don't have time to look at the flyer, I just will go through though, and I'll find things that are on sale. So when they're on sale, they tend to be fresh. They tend to be in season. And so sometimes I'll get things that are organic, but sometimes I don't, because I'm not going to beat myself up if a head of broccoli is $2 and it's organic, but it's on sale for 69 cents and it's non-organic, it's still better than a candy bar, right? So what I do is I go to the produce section first thing. I see what's on sale and I just start buying stuff. Like, I always have our staples. So my staples are always like the colorful peppers. I find that the green bell peppers are bitter, but the red bell peppers are sweet. So I buy red bell peppers, not green bell peppers. So now I've got some red. So this will make any meal look colorful and beautiful. And when something's colorful and beautiful, you're more drawn to it, which means you're going to have more enjoyment not only eating it, but then you're going to feel better eating it. And of course, you actually will feel better because you're eating a variety of colors. I'll do onions, garlic. I love the little tiny tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes or the grape tomatoes. And then I start to build on that. And I go, okay, so greens, I probably need about 2 or 3 greens for the week. And I'll buy just a ton of it. So if kale is on sale, I'll make lots of crispy kale for one meal. I'll make like a kale salad for another meal. If, so I just kind of, I don't have a specific meal plan. I just get really inspired by all of the colors and saving money. I really get inspired by keeping it simple.
No, I love that approach because, oftentimes I'll go and I won't even look at the price. I'm running around and everything is out of a bag. And it's not the way that I would want to live. But I know for so many people and families, when I pulled through Chick-fil-A the other day, it was packed. And I'm thinking, why are we all eating out of a bag? How can we simplify it? And I knew you would have the perfect answer. And so really, if you start with unconventional approach of, I want to save money and I want to eat healthy. So I'll shop for items that are on sale. And if it's kale, I'll pull up a whole bunch of kale recipes that are going to feed not only my soul, but my energy as well.
Exactly. And then honestly, like Pinterest is such a great resource for inspiration. So sometimes there was one time where I'm like, I need a recipe where I've got potatoes, tomatoes, and there was like some odd ingredient. And I'm like, but I had to use it. And so I went on Pinterest and I found the most amazing recipe. I always tweak recipes and I very seldom actually follow them exactly. I just read it through. I go, okay, so that's what they need. Those are the ingredients they need. I may or may not use those seasonings. And then as long as it says to cook it for whatever temperature for however duration, I might follow that part of the recipe. But otherwise, I just kind of have fun experimenting. And I'm like, wow, this is really beautiful. But if I add some carrots or I just shred up some carrots, now it creates this whole new flavor level and colors. And sorry, I get really excited about food.
I'm really excited too. Now I want to go have a healthy breakfast. So you've inspired me. Thank you. And so I want to switch gears a little bit. So I love the health and wellness. And that, like I said, that's actually a whole chapter in the book is organizing that plan so that it's more obtainable and more realistic. We're all so busy and we all feel that we're running place to place. And so just to slow down and have these little tips and tricks that actually work are helpful. So I want to talk a little bit about beauty routines because just yesterday I was organizing a bathroom full of products. And so is your beauty routine simplified and how do you view clutter in the beauty industry?
So a lot of times I get sent products, which is great. It's a blessing and it's a curse. There's no way I could possibly use till it's empty every single product that I have, whether it's because it's sent to me, someone gives it to me as a gift, or because I like to buy a lot of products too. And I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful new thing. Let me try this. And some things really work well and some things don't. So here's one of the things that I found. One of my girlfriends, she hosted a beauty exchange party. You've heard of clothing exchange parties? So she hosted a beauty exchange party. So if it didn't have a wand, so like if it's a lipstick with a wand or a mascara with a wand, you can't do that. But otherwise, if you had a regular lipstick in a tube, you would just like use even like dental floss to like take off that top piece. And then you have something now that you can give to your friends. And you just do this little beauty exchange party. You've got you could use samples, you could do things in tubes, you could use powders, things like that. So things that are no longer serving you, now they suddenly have a purpose and then it's fun. And then you can get additional things, which I keep going, no, I actually don't need anything else. But sometimes I'll just give them to my daughter. I'm thankful I have a 19-year-old who loves anything that I want to give to her because she doesn't want to buy makeup. She's a college student or just about a college student. And so she's always like, Mom, yeah, if you have anything. And so it's really funny. When we went to Beverly Hills for a gala that raised money for girls in Uganda recently, she came with me, and her whole entire beauty bag was items that I had given her. So, but when it comes to my morning routine, I keep it like I have 5 or 6 products that I use all the time. And I love products that are long lasting. And I don't sell it. I'm not a big fan of multi-level things, but I really love like lip scents, the lipstick, because it's so easy to have that last forever. I put it on in the morning. I don't have to reapply lipstick until the next morning.
That is so fun. I just, everybody has a different beauty routine. And I don't know, I went through this. My mom grew up in the Mary Kay world. And so I remember specifically a beautiful memory I have with my mom is sitting on the toilet in the bathroom and just watching her. And it would take probably 2 hours for her to get ready. She had the big 80s hair, all the Mary Kay things. And it was a memory that I just hold so dear to my heart, that your beauty routine, you just never know, who's watching or who you're passing these traits down to. And I know also makeup can be really expensive. And so I love the idea of an exchange, because a lot of times we spend so much money on it that we're like, we don't use it, but we're feeling this guilt for not using it or having too much.
Right.
So the idea of an exchange is really, I've never heard that before. That's really neat.
Isn't that fun? You could do it with hair products too. So it doesn't just have to be makeup. You could do it with skincare, hair products, perfumes. So any things that you're just like, I love this, or I have loved it, but its time has come. Then host an exchange party, a beauty exchange party.
That is such a brilliant idea. Nobody's brought that up yet. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I'm like thinking like, how could our organizing have some parties, like purse parties? Or we all accumulate so much. So the idea of an exchange is really, really fun. So talking about all things beauty and fashion, talk about closet clutter, fashion. What does clutter mean to you? What is your biggest clutter challenge?
I find that my biggest clutter challenge is when I buy new things, because I'm very driven by sales. So when I buy new things, I have to make sure I have a place to put them. Would this be weird? At the end of this interview, I'll show you my closet. And I just got back I haven't been home pretty much all weekend. I just got back late last night from Deer Valley, Utah, for another event that I was at. We've been in San Diego several times over the last few months. So I could show you my closet and what it looks like right now, but I have everything color coordinated. It's super easy to find. It's super easy to know what to buy. It's easy to know, like, it's probably time to do laundry if I don't have this dress or this shirt available. So I don't necessarily have a lot of clutter. My husband would say I have way too many shoes. But that's just a boy thing. He probably has more clothing than I do. His side of the closet is fuller.
That I love, and I want to dive into, because oftentimes couples have two different personalities when it comes to managing a household or trying to come together, merge households. They have two different organizational personalities. So where are you on the scale of organizing traits and your husband, and how do you bring those both together?
Well, I let him do whatever he's going to do. He has his half of the closet, and then I do my everything where it's color coordinated. I have short sleeve dresses, pattern dresses, long sleeve dresses, and every short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, skirts, and every single solitary thing is color coordinated. I have my vintage section. I have my coats section is mostly upstairs because it's still not quite cold enough to bring them downstairs yet. And so, if he has his thing and he's doing his thing, that's fine. But he's pretty neat and tidy. The only thing is, for me, I have to have it color coordinated. He doesn't, and it doesn't bother me.
I love that. And a lot of times couples will also, they'll have certain chores, like somebody's responsible for always getting the mail each day, or, I shop for groceries, you put them away. So there's always kind of this ebb and flow that couples find over time. And I know you've been with your husband for a very long time, so you've had plenty of time to work these things out.
We have, and and I'm not going to lie, I do have help. So for instance, I'm not afraid to take things to the dry cleaners. And I'm also not afraid. I have Millie, she comes in and she's our angel. So she comes in and she helps us once every other week. So just 2 times a month. And she does all of the laundry for us. So I make sure that we do have enough like underwear for 2 weeks. So every person in the house has at least 2 weeks worth of underwear. And then we usually have enough for 2 weeks worth of clothing. And that doesn't mean that it's all the time. It just means that, like my son has to wear a school uniform. So she helps us, and that makes a big difference. So then if I really did need to do something, I can. But you were talking about batching some of your activities together. And so that's my batch. So every other Monday she comes over. I've started laundry on Sunday night. I do all of the sheets. I do all of the towels. I do everything. And I take it out of the dryer and I put it on the counter. Because when I'm doing laundry myself, that's what we would do anyway, right? Like I don't enjoy the folding process, but I love the cleaning process. So I don't mind like putting it in and then putting it in the dryer and then taking it out of the dryer. But it's that final step of folding it and then putting it away. That's the part that I simply don't do. So she hangs up everything. She for my closet, the only exception is we have it's called a butler's rack. And so she hangs all of my clothes on the butler's rack, and then I put everything away in its color coordinated spot because I'm a little obsessive about that part.
I love your tip and advice for getting help, because a lot of us we feel that we have to do everything on our own all the time, or that we just need all these answers, and if we don't, we've failed. And I think that's a lot of the pressure that clutter gives us, is that overwhelming sense of I should be able to figure this out. And so just allowing yourself compassion and the ability to ask for help is so huge, because I remember when I was running around and I had my friend come clean for me, and I had never had anyone clean for me before. And I came home and everything was just, and I think another thing we do is like, nobody will do it like I do it, or they won't know. We make up these excuses, but actually getting help just frees us up for so much.
It does. And honestly, the boys, they could really care less whether or not their clothes are put in the right way. I do. So that's why she's like, great, that's one less thing I have to do. So she doesn't have to put my clothes away. And then I still am getting help, and I'm getting to do it my way.
I love that. And so, Kirin, I just want to end with this, and you gave us so much good advice for not only health and beauty and wellness and household. We went all over the map in this interview, and I so appreciate it, because organization or clutter just tends to seep into every area of our life. And if we can apply these little tips or tricks on a daily basis, it helps us stay in control of what we truly want to give to the world, or be to the world, or be to our children. And so if you could say one thing to the reader of this book in regards to the importance of organization or living organized and clutter-free, what advice would you give?
It's all about you. And the truth is, you are worth it. And the more organized you are, the more organized the rest of your life becomes. So simplify things, streamline things, give yourself permission to get help when you need it, and you're worth it. So do it for yourself. You really do deserve it. And then, do you want to see my closet before we go?
Oh, are you taking us in there right now?
You want to? Okay. You can talk to me. It's in a different part of the house. I'll go fast. My dog is following too.
I'm in Arizona, and the high ceilings and the sunshine coming in. Oh, I'm so jealous.
No, again, I just came home, so here's my suitcase all here. Now, I don't know what my closet looks like, simply because I have not been home. So, but you can still see. This is why I want to show you this, because this is how I truly have everything organized. So I have a few of the coats that I already have. Some of the long sleeve dresses, even my shoes are color coordinated, right? I have my short sleeve dresses. Here's all my patterns.
All on the same hangers.
Oh, yeah. And then everything short sleeve is over here, short sleeve dresses. Here's like some of my fabulous pieces, you know, but these are all not even gowns. These are just maxi dresses. Here on this end is the things I have to take to alterations. Here's my long sleeve shirts. Here's my short sleeve shirts. Here are my skirts. Here are my, like my tank tops. I have a section of little black dresses, evening gowns, and then I have all of my vintage pieces.
Wow, I love
so
that.
I really do have everything color coordinated. Oh, and then my chandeliers. I don't know if you could see them. They're like really fun. Oh, and see, even my boxes. I have all the red boxes. They're all the same. And then my husband's side, not quite as clean, but I don't care because it's his side, and then he gets to do whatever he wants to do, and then it doesn't matter. And here's the thing too, with marriage, I heard this recently and I thought it was so great. And she said, when you stressed out about the little things, and I'm giving you this because I think it applies to clutter as well, okay? If you're stressed out about the little things, it's because the big things aren't being taken care of. But when the big things are all taken care of, you don't stress out or worry about those little things. So in the case of a marriage or in clutter, you know, when you have your house for the most part organized, it's a lot easier for the rest of your life to just kind of run smoothly and be organized. And yeah, you might have like a few little things, but when you have like everything out of whack, your son or daughter's sock on the floor next to, but not in, their dirty laundry hamper might just throw you into a tailspin. So try to have everything else big, organized, and taken care of so that those little things just don't bother you anymore.
Oh, that was really beautiful. That was a beautiful ending. Thank you so much, Kirin, for spending the time with me today. I so appreciate you and all the advice that you've given. And for anyone that is wanting more with living with less and got some really great insight here, you can always go to organizingexperts.com. And to learn more about Kirin and Integrative Health, you can go to drchristianson.com. Christianson is spelled CHRISTIANSON.com. Thank you so much, Kirin. Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.